Hey gang, what's happening? This is one of those days that I should have bought a lottery ticket. Why? Well, I went to the post office and I've actually got goodies at the post office, which is the first time in a long time. Stopped off at my local, it's not a flea market, it's a Christian Ministries resale shop called Attic Window. Found this really nice vintage made in USA Bright Star flashlight that'll hang nice in the shop. And behind me is a rack that I found at the same place for $25. And then they have a rewards program, and in the I know, beautiful view while I'm talking, huh? The rewards program, they give you so many points for every dollar that you spend, and I have amassed $20 worth of well, $20. So anything I get 20 bucks back. So that rack in the back was listed at 25 bucks. That flashlight was listed at 5. Plus, today is Military Veterans Day at the same place, which gives you 20% off. I think you guys can see where this is going. There's really nothing to look at out here. But what I wound up with was $7 and some change total, turning in my 20 bucks and turning in my 20% for everything I got. So can't beat that. They took the 20 bucks off before they did the 20% discount, so it all worked out awesome. I was really pleased and very thankful. I think they kind of screwed up their percentages a little bit, because it should have been $8 and something, I would have thought. But I'm not going to argue it. Anyway, I just wanted to let you guys know that. And we're going to be heading back to the shop as soon as this train decides to move. And we've got some things going on there. Once we get there, we'll start covering it. So I'll see you guys here in just a little bit. Hey gang. Well, it's been about 20 minutes, still sitting here waiting on the train, so I figured, why not go ahead and do the unboxing now? So this is from one of my subscribers, and he contacted me and said, hey, I've got one of those goofy updraft carburetors for a vertical shaft engine. Do you want it? I was like, well, who am I to turn down a carburetor that I can put on the... Sorry, I'm trying to cut at the same time here, as you guys can see. How would you like another carburetor for your stockpile? I was like, well, yeah, that'll work. So I threw a little bit of money his way, and he sent me, here's all the parts. Oh, the train is just now starting to move after 20 minutes. Got all the parts in what looks like a partial rebuild kit here, which is awesome. Thank you very much for including that. Get that bag out of there. But as we can see, it's got the intake elbow, the air filter body, the air filter screen. I just showed you the bolts and whatnot that were there. We're a little bit stuck there, that's okay. And then inside here is the carburetor, as Terrell would say. And intake elbow. He did a good job wrapping this sucker up. It does not want to come out. I think we about got it. There we go. So, as you can see, it is just another representation of one of those oddball vertical engine carburetors. So thank you very much for that. that's going to come in handy. I say thank you. I mean, I paid for it, but I really didn't pay much, which I thanked him for that. This is more or less just a rebuildable core for me, and I typically give about a $20 credit on rebuildable cores when I sell my rebuilt carburetors. Oh, the train's moving at a pretty good clip now. Maybe it'll be over soon. Then I can quit the video and actually get home. So let's get into the next package, shall we? Get this folded up, and I gotta cover up his address so that that doesn't show up. How are we gonna do this? Like that. I'll just tear it off and shove it in the box. Okay, that's box number 1. And envelope number 2. What do I do with the Condor? Where are you at? There you are. This one stays in the truck. That's my little Condor bushcraft knife. Make sure I don't cut a note here. I cut a note. Nope. So I can go ahead and go right on through it. And yes, I just cut my steering wheel. I keep my knife sharp because you never know when you're going to need a really sharp knife for something. And we got a plate. Oh, it's an older PA plate. Awesome, I remember these plates. And the train is now over. So I will see you guys at the shop. Okay, let's continue where we left off. Greg, awesome, 76. I lived very near Philadelphia in 76 and actually went and had my hands on the Liberty Bell in 76. That was back when you could actually touch it. So that brings back really good memories. 73, 74, 76 Bicentennial State. Thank you very, very, very much. So what else is going on? Well, I took the weekend off because I had a wedding to go to. I had to run to Indianapolis. I had a few other things that I had to do. So unfortunately, nothing got done here. And I do apologize for that, Sean, but sometimes life gets in the way and I can't avoid it. But when the exhaust manifold comes in for the engine, this is the idea. This muffler will attach to it on this side, and you can see it's going to blow out and away, and it will face forward. Now we can probably situate it so that it faces back as well, but then you're going to have all the noise in your ear. So this is my suggestion here. Something else that I did, and I did not do on camera, but it turned out to be a very simple fix. Thank you very much, Biggie Rat. Was fixing the lever. As you can see, that lever is good and stout now. It's right where it needs to be. So how did I do it? Well, I told you about the double D turning into more or less one of those, hourglass shape. The easy fix was take the lock nut off and just very simply put a lock washer on there and then put the nut back on. That's it. It was literally a 15-second fix. In fact, I still had Biggie Red on the phone when I did that. So very, very quick repair there. The deck spindle, I've got that figured. Whether or not I'm going to use the old bar out back that I've got or not is still yet to be seen. I do need to do a little bit of measuring and investigating as far as that goes. And we'll get on to the rest of the list that's here very shortly. The BGB leaking, honestly, the best bet with that is just keep adding the fluid. The seals for these are increasingly harder and harder to find. So what needs to be done really is get a hold of Brenda Nouse at sandylakeimp.com. See if Brenda has found a resource where she can get a hold of these BGB seals and bearings again. If so, it's a pretty simple procedure, and I'll show you that when you get here. Solenoid's funny when starting sometimes. We're going to take care of that. Poor man's power steering's going in. Hood mount, we'll work on that. Check blades on the deck, it doesn't mow great. Hydraulic lift arm, we got that. Tends to backfire at shutdown. That's going to be gone with the new engine. Stripper bar doesn't extend all the way. Striper bar doesn't extend all the way. Yes, we've got that. And then just check everything else over. So more or less, the mower is just waiting on getting the blocks for raising the engine up and the exhaust manifold, and then the installation will go on that. I know there's no hurry on this one, so I have not even paid any attention to this part yet. Some of the things that have transpired over the weekend, one was I was contacted, and I'm a sucker. Not in a bad way, but I'm a sucker for vintage stuff. Just if it's vintage, I tend to gravitate towards it. But what we got wound up being something that's just beyond my comprehension. Oh, here's the rack that I got. That's going to hold the CL200 parts. What I got, well, let me just show it to you. That is a 1978 CM185T. It is a twin cylinder, 180 cc. They always boost the cc's up. 4-speed, which I thought was kind of unusual. Motorcycle that is in absolutely immaculate, I mean immaculate condition. I'm not going to stay on this and harp on this, but I do just want to show you the mileage. Yeah, it's absolutely gorgeous. It does have enduro tires on it because the 16-inch rims on the back are really hard to find tires for. When you do find them, they're really crazy expensive. Coker Tire has vintage style tires for these, but they're $140+ a piece, and then you have shipping on top of that. But the enduros don't bother me. They don't bother me. When I got it, it was only running on one cylinder. I knew that before I made the purchase. Also, every light in the house is off. All the lights were blown out, including the headlight, which is nearly impossible to replace. The headlight was, both high and low beam were burnt out. Turn signals are burnt out. All the indicator lights on the Speedo are burnt out. Tail lights, turn signals, the whole nine, everything. It even burnt up the flasher switch, so that won't flash. And what caused it? Quite simply, it was just a bad battery. This thing with a bad battery wound up throwing 20 volts of electricity, 20 volts DC electricity throughout the entire motorcycle. Now, usually the coil will go. The coil didn't go, fortunately, but everything else, there's nothing. And just to add insult to injury, it is a 6-volt system. Yes, 6-volt with electric start. But like I say, we're not going to harp on this one. This one's not going to get worked on until we get this one well underway into where it's very near being ready to go back to Sean. That's a quick update, and again, awesome plate. In fact, let me take it over here. I got a couple more plates that were dropped off to me by a friend of mine. Some Indiana plates. This is just a Hoosier State plate. That'll go up over on the other wall, but I've got older Indiana plates that I don't have, so those are going to go up. As you can see, I do not have. I know I went over that quick, but and the PA plate will go up. The PA plates that I have right now, we've got the Save Wild Animal Pennsylvania with the tiger on it. We have this Pennsylvania truck plate, and I believe those are the only two PA plates that I have up here. And like I say, guys, if you've got plates and you want to send them to me, I don't care if I've already got the state. I just want to fill up this wall. Help me fill this wall up. It's Zippo, Varga, P.O. Box 2323, Muncie, Indiana 47307. And I typically remember to put it in the description. In the description, if you click show more, right below the description, it will show you everything that I have typed in there. So there we go. We've got 3 more plates to go up there, and this plate, like I just said, will go up over here. The Zippo plate stays over there, but this Indiana plate will go on up with the rest of these here. Alright, that's it. Long boring one with absolutely nothing that happened except for the introduction of the latest edition. Yes, I'm up to 5 motorcycles. I know, it's an addiction. I don't think there's a cure for it because I still have bikes on my list, on my bucket list. But this bike wasn't on my bucket list, but when I saw it and saw the condition, I thought, you know, there is no way on God's green earth. I mean, look at the hubs. You never see the hubs looking this nice. I mean, you can keep the chrome clean, but keeping those hubs nice like that, and the shock, just all of it. All the paint on the engine, the valve cover on the engine, the side covers, everything's just freaking gorgeous on this thing. So anyway, this will be coming up in later videos. Like I said, once that is nearing completion or completed, and that's all I've got to say. That is what's going on here. I know, again, just a babble video. Nothing has actually physically been done. Oh, well, there is just a little bit more, and I'll try to make this as quick as I can. The gentleman that I picked this up off of down in Indianapolis turned me on to a place that was just a few blocks away from his house. That's called Cycle Recycle Parts 2. And the place has been at the current location for 32 years. And what is inside that place is just absolutely incredible. We're talking decades of collecting used motorcycle parts, as well as being able to source new parts for Hondas, Kawasaki's, Yamahas, and Suzuki's. He was real excited to see this, asked me if I wanted to sell it, and I said, dude, I haven't even ridden it yet. I just picked it up. So at any rate, while I was there, I thought this is a perfect opportunity for me to get a couple things that I was wanting for the CL build. Here's the original tank. I'm gonna hold it up and give you guys a comparison here if I can with one hand. Okay. Now imagine that back fender is going to be gone, but that's going to be the new tank. Yes, it's much larger. You can see here. That's kind of hard to see in that perspective. Let me just set it up here. What do you think of that funkadelic paint job it's got on there? Okay, so you can see the tank is longer and larger. My butt's going to be right here, and then there's going to be the typical cafe fashioned hump back here that's going to hold all the electronics. But I could not pass this up. I don't know how well it'll show, but yeah, it's not going to show good. Flashlight real quick. You know, that funkadelic paint job leaves something to be desired, but look at the inside of this tank. Absolutely perfect. And then I picked up the bars. Those bars are nice because they can be flipped over either way you want them. I'm going to have to relocate my throttle cable just because of the way I need to remember to breathe when I'm talking. So that the cable will clear the gas tank, you have to be able to rotate the cable forward. Well, that's what this is for. And I also, this is your throttle. I also ordered the correct replacement complete switch housing, everything, wires and the whole 9 yards. So that will be taken care of. So the parts are building up for that. All these parts that are on the floor here right now and sitting on the hoss are all going to go on the new cart, and the new cart's going to find its place so that I can get a lot of this crap up off the floor. Something else that I do have going on is 1 chainsaw repair. There's another chainsaw down there, 2 chainsaw repairs, 3 chainsaw repairs, 4 chainsaw repairs that I've got to get to, and I've actually got to get to those pretty quick. So I hope Sean doesn't mind. While I'm waiting on parts to arrive for this, I am going to spend a little bit of time on getting those chainsaws repaired, because the people that own them need them like ASAP. That pretty much gives you guys the update. I did get the drive chain in for it yesterday, or not yesterday, Saturday, and it's moving right along. And I've decided on the lowers down here, after I replace the seals and rebuild the forks, I am going to put the gaiters back on, the rubber boots. The gaiters are going to go back on just the lower part right there. And I'll use my lathe and mill out a couple of little discs to put up here with a groove in them so that they'll latch on correctly. Reminiscent of that. Alright, that's enough. All I'm doing is babbling now. What do you guys think of the new bike? Tell me. Tell me honestly. What do you think of the new beauty? And, you know, a lot of you guys like to ask me in private messages, how much are you paying for these bikes? I never pay more than the value of the bike, ever. Because this one needed repairs, I got it at about 1/3 of its retail value. So that just kind of gives you an idea. Alright, that's it. Zippo. Later. Catch you on the next one.